You've done something genuinely impressive. You've built a real, clean, fully working web application using Lovable, and you did it without needing to hire a developer, and you completely avoided all those late nights arguing with code. That is a massive accomplishment, and your web app is finally live. But as you transition from building it to actually growing it, you're now facing a crucial final hurdle, and it's one that could dictate whether your app thrives or just kind of fades into the background. So in this explainer, we're going to look at exactly how to leap over that hurdle.
Here's a rapid blueprint for launching a native mobile app today without touching a single line of code. We'll cover the mobile engagement gap, meet app web, explore the core features, walk through the 5-minute conversion process, compare it to custom native builds, and then show you exactly how to go mobile today. Let's move.
Section 1. The mobile engagement gap. Why web-only isn't enough.
Look, it's a reality none of us can ignore. Mobile traffic isn't just the future, it is the present. The vast majority of all web browsing happens right on our phones. But staying web-only, that leaves a very dangerous gap in user retention. Let's just ask the hard truth about human behavior here. How many users will actually type your URL tomorrow? Seriously, think about your own habits. Relying on a user to intentionally open their browser, tap that tiny URL bar, and manually type out your address is a massive ask. People are incredibly busy. If your project isn't literally right in front of them, it is so easy for them to just forget about it entirely.
It really all boils down to user psychology. A mobile website requires deliberate intent, right? But a native app, that creates a home screen habit. An app acts as this constant, tiny visual reminder that your product actually exists. It gets tapped out of pure muscle memory with almost zero friction. Intent is super expensive when it comes to user retention. But habit? Habit is automatic. Plus, having your app listed in a legitimate app store builds immediate trust in a way of basic web URLs simply never can.
So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what you are actually leaving on the table. These are the hidden costs of staying web-only. You lose out on push notifications, which is arguably the strongest re-engagement tool available today. You have absolutely no permanent home screen presence, you lack a custom offline fallback for when they inevitably lose their internet connection, and you completely miss out on App Store discoverability. These aren't just nice-to-have little features. They are foundational engagement tools that native apps get right out of the box.
Section 2. Meet App of Web, the one URL approach.
Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. I'm going to need to hire a developer, or it's going to cost a fortune, or this is going to take me months. Well, let's just bust those myths right now. You don't need a developer, it won't cost a fortune, and it for sure won't take months. The solution uses a technique called a WebView wrapper. Basically, this takes your existing Lovable web app and wraps it up in a native mobile shell. And just to be clear, this is not a progressive web app running in some background browser. It generates actual, real, installable Android APK and iOS IPA files. You just give the platform your Lovable URL, and it gives you a real app back.
And honestly, this is the part that will make any no-code builder breathe a massive sigh of relief. It is a fully managed service. You are not in there messing around with Apple's Xcode. You're not fighting with Android Studio. You are definitely not pulling your hair out trying to figure out code signing certificates. The App of Web team acts as your developer, handling all that heavy lifting completely behind the scenes. Your only job? Provide the URL and your brand assets. That's it.
Section 3. Core features and add-ons beyond a basic wrapper.
A super common concern is that a wrapped app is just going to feel like a website awkwardly squeezed onto a phone screen. But that's absolutely not the case here. You get a highly customized, native-feeling experience right out of the box. You get a custom app icon and splash screen so your brand is front and center. You get bottom tabs navigation, because let's be real, browser URL bars do not belong in a mobile app. You get that classic pull-to-refresh mechanic that users just expect out of pure muscle memory. And crucially, app syncing. When you update your Lovable website, your app updates automatically. Add in custom status bars, friendly offline screens, and unlimited revisions, and the whole shebang feels genuinely authentic.
And this perfectly illustrates one of their absolute most powerful add-ons. Push notifications are the single most effective re-engagement tool in mobile. Why? Because while email open rates are pretty modest at best, a push notification appears directly on a user's lock screen. Whether you're running a SaaS app, alerting someone that a report is ready, or a community platform notifying a user of a new reply, AppleWeb sets up this entire infrastructure for you. You can literally bypass the noise of an email inbox entirely.
They also offer a store publishing add-on where they literally handle the entire submission process to Apple and Google for you. And the turnaround times are incredibly swift once submitted. Google Play usually takes about a day and a half, and the Apple App Store generally takes 1 to 3 business days. Instead of trying to navigate complex compliance rules and clunky developer portals, you just provide the app description, they handle the entire process, and boom, your app goes live.
Section 4. The 5-minute conversion, from URL to app fast.
Okay, so we've talked about what it does. Now let's actually prove the speed. It really is as rapid as these 5 simple steps. First, go to appofweb.com. Second, submit your Lovable URL, which takes literally 10 seconds. Third, configure your settings. That's basically just filling out a quick form to upload your icon, name your bottom tabs, and pick your colors. None of it is technical at all. Fourth, review the actual testable build they send you, right there on your physical phone. And finally, go live or just use your unlimited revisions to tweak things until it's perfect. That is the entire process.
Section 5. App of Web versus Custom Native. The honest trade-offs.
All right, it is time for a drop the mic comparison. If you were thinking about going the traditional custom native app development route, just look at the actual logistics here. Time to launch? App of Web takes days. Custom native takes 3 to 6 months, sometimes even more. Cost? App of Web is just a low fraction of native. Custom means paying really high developer salaries or crazy agency fees. And maintenance? Well, with App of Web, it's automatic via app syncing. You update Lovable and the app updates itself. With Custom Native, you need an ongoing developer involved for every single minor patch. Honestly, unless you're building a super heavy 3D game or an app requiring some deep Bluetooth integration, converting your Lovable site is simply the faster, smarter move to validate your product.
Just let this staggering number sink in for a moment. $48,000. According to the evaluation calculator in the source material, this is the estimated capital expenditure target for a traditional 400-hour native build, assuming a pretty standard developer rate. You are saving tens of thousands of dollars in core expenditures by choosing a managed wrapper strategy instead, and you're unlocking deployment in days, not months.
Section 6. Go mobile today. The final step.
Look, your hard work in Lovable is already done. The logic, the interface, the database, it's all finished. The final boss of mobile distribution is easily defeated, especially if you fit these ideal use cases. SaaS dashboards and client portals? Perfect, because a dashboard sitting right on a home screen gets checked way more often. Marketplaces and directory apps? Amazing for pushing notifications about new listings. Community platforms and membership sites? That mobile presence builds daily, sticky habits. And service business booking apps? Having a native app builds massive trust and legitimacy for your brand. If you fall into literally any of these categories, your Lovable site is completely primed for conversion.
So what is the ultimate takeaway from all this? You do not need to rebuild from scratch just to get onto your users' home screens. The tools exist right now to bridge that engagement gap completely effortlessly. Visit appofweb.com and convert your website to mobile app today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, but right before you go, just ask yourself this. If your biggest competitor launched their native app tomorrow, how much of your web traffic would you lose by next week? Happy building!